universe is like, in the big ground, if there's a ring, that is the comparison Allah gives. So how is it possible that that is only the footstool. The arsh compared to that is again so big. So such a big arsh and this universe is so small. So it doesn't make sense that Allah is everywhere. And just, Nauzubillah, think what you're telling. Just reflect on what you're trying to tell. If Allah is everywhere, He should also be in everything. Allah cannot be everywhere and not in everything. For example, if Allah is inside this hall, He is outside the hall also, and He is inside the wall also. He is inside the wall, outside the wall, and in the wall. That's what you're trying to tell. Allah is not parts and bits and pieces. It cannot be. Allah should be everywhere. So what it means is Allah, you mean I'm not telling this, sister, you are telling this, I am not telling this. If I flush, am I flushing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Astaghfirullah. Nauzubillah. If I smoke and blow out puff, smoke, I don't smoke, but if I do that, am I blowing out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If a mother gives birth to a baby, is she reproducing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. And this is the understanding of the Salaf. If you read any of the books by Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah or any of the great scholars of Islam, it's very clear that Allah is not everywhere, He is above the arsh. Allah is not in His creation. Allah is above His creation. There are various verses which will be dealt with inshallah in the night lecture. I hope you come there and listen to the lecture. You will get a better clarification. As far as one more thing, wasila, Brother Azasi, I want to clarify there are three types of wasilas. One is, you take the wasila of the different names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah's names like Ravoof, Rahim, Rahman. This is the best wasila. Allah has got so many beautiful names. You take the wasila of His names. Oh Allah, you are Rahman. Oh Allah, you are Rahim. Based on this, whatever need you have, you present. This is the best wasila. Second wasila is, you do something nice, something good. You smile at a brother, you give some charity, you pray farz salah, you pray tahajjud, and make dua with that. We have an example, we have a hadith where some people get inside a cave and a big boulder comes and covers the mouth of the cave. So one of the person tells, that's a long hadith, to cut it short in a very brief manner, I'm summarizing it. One of them tells, Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I used to bring milk, feed my parents, only then give it to my children. Once I had come and my parents were sleeping, I waited, even though my children were wanting milk, I waited till I gave them milk, then fed my children. So if you are happy with this, if I did this for you, please move the boulder. It moved a little. Similarly, another person tells, I used to employ people for some wages. One of the persons did not take his wage. And I invested that wage in some business and it multiplied, a lot of cattle came around. And after some time when that person came back, I told him, this is all yours. And he told, are you joking with me? How can, I did such a small labor, how can all this be mine? He told, no, this is yours, I invested and this is yours. So he took away this. If I have done this, please move the boulder. So it moved a little more. And the third person also had done the good thing. So because of that, the whole boulder moved. So this is an example to show us that based on your good deeds, whatever good deed you have done, you can ask Allah to help you. You can seek wasila of your good deed. And the third thing, we have an example where, this is a very important thing. This is what I want to bring out. This third thing, where Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala, when he was the Khalifa, when Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had died, there was drought, and there was no rain. Listen to what Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala told. He told, when Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was alive, we would ask him to make dua for us. Now that he is no more, you, the chicha of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you make dua for us. His uncle, he asked his uncle to make dua. So if somebody is alive, you can ask him to make dua on your behalf. This is a third type of wasila. These are the only three types of wasila which are permitted in Islam. There is no fourth type of wasila, inshallah.
Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. My name is Ashik Al Muhammad. I'm a medical student.
Sorry.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. My name is Ashik Al Muhammad. I'm a medical student. I have a question regarding the thoughts of atheists, that why to stick on to the religions, and we can follow our own heart, what it is saying, it's right or wrong, and why to stick on to the different concepts of religions regarding the atheist thoughts?
Why to stick on with any religion? Follow what your heart tells. Your heart will tell something, my heart will tell something. You will think this is okay, I'll think it's not okay. Then we need to have some kind of, see, we cannot have freedom. It's a myth which Americans are propagating to the world. Freedom, freedom. Is there any freedom in this world? Can you go on the road and just do whatever you want? There are rules there which you have to follow. When you're going to a school, you wear uniform. You're telling, I'll follow my heart. I will remove my dress, absolutely go naked. Will that be acceptable? My heart is telling it's okay, I'll go. There's nothing like that. See, just think about this. People are just creating a myth, freedom, 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 and I will follow my heart. Whatever I feel is good, I will do. If I wear only shorts, shorts, Bermudas, I wear only that. And some sister also wears only that. And both of us walk on the road, only one of us will get arrested. So we know there are different rules even for human beings in different sexes. So who's the one who's going to decide? Human beings? One person will tell so much, the other will tell so much. There won't be any conformity. You ask any child going to school, tell him, do you like to wear a school dress? Nobody wants to wear. But we know there's good in that. He has to wear it. When you're traveling on the road, can you go however you want? You have to follow traffic signal rules. And who knows best what is good for us? Who is the world's best doctor? God. Because He created us. The Nokia mobile phone, nobody gives you a mobile phone and tells you, use however you want. You drop it in water, it will work. No. Nokia made the phone. They know what is good for it. If I open an office, I will just not tell, okay, all of my employees and whom all I've employed, come and do whatever you want. They'll straight away go to the canteen and start drinking tea, start playing. I will set rules for them. If I send my son to a school, I will tell him, go to the class and listen to your teacher. Concentrate on what's being written on the board. Take down notes. I will give him instructions. If I don't, he'll straight go to the playground. He'll start playing football or cricket. So we need to have rules. And who's the one who decides rules? Like I told you, Indian Constitution, India is independent from last how many years? We have had, I believe, recently I was reading a report, 160 amendments or whatever, so many amendments. So we are going on amending. Whatever we make rules, we go on changing. But has one rule changed from the Quran? One rule? One letter? Is it required to change? Is there anything in the Quran which we cannot follow? Whatever God has decided, all of us can follow. It is the only way you can get through peace. Because He has created us, He knows what's good for us and what's not good for us. I might think based on my knowledge. See, as a doctor, I know what all I studied in first year must have changed by now. What all I thought is good for migraine. I do extensive research on migraine because I have that problem. I know that the modalities of treatment of migraine itself is updating. So how we research, we keep changing. But Allah knows what is good and what is not. And Allah doesn't need any changes. He is absolute in His knowledge. He is the world's greatest doctor. If all the human beings think something is good, if Allah thinks otherwise, the Creator thinks otherwise, that will be correct. And that's the only way you can get peace. If all of us want, who doesn't want peace? Is there anybody in this world, even the terrorist, so-called terrorist, even they want peace. Everybody wants peace. Terrorists do terrorism because they think that will give them peace in the long term. So if you want peace, we all need to believe in one God and follow His rules. Only then can we get peace. Because everybody has got his own ideas. Do you agree in everything with your brother? If you have your own brother who stays in your own house, do you agree with your father in everything? Do your father and mother agree on everything? Then how can you frame rules based on things? There will be a group of section of people who will not agree on something. If you, for example, have any rule, for example, in India, you have the big debates, big fight, this fight, that fight. Why? Because they have differences of opinion. But God's rules are only one. And God knows what is actually good. And whatever God thinks is good, no matter who likes it, who doesn't like it. Even if the whole world rejects it, good is good and bad is bad. So we cannot follow our heart because each fellow's heart, what you thought when you were 10 years old is different from what you're thinking now. So what youngsters will think will be different from what old people think. What ladies will be thinking will be different from what men will be thinking. Men will want to have a system which is pro-men. Ladies will want a system which is pro-women. Gays will want pro-gay and robbers will want pro-robbers. So everybody will want their own rules. So whom are you going to satisfy? You're following. So it's not possible. We need to have some uniformity, and the only one authorized to form the rules, the law book, is the best art of living is the Quran. Follow the Quran, and there's nothing in the Quran. See, the vote can be a greater proof than the fact that we don't need to change even one sentence of the Quran. How is it possible if just for the sake of argument, if somebody tells that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wrote the Quran and he theorized all these scientific miracles, you can give 3 hours of lecture only on the scientific miracles in the Quran. Now, there are many great scientists who made a lot of theories, lot of hypotheses. Some of them were true, some of them were wrong. How is it that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if it's not true, if he had thought about all these things, theorized and hypotheticated, how is it that he's 100% correct? How is it possible? And if you tell he copied, plagiarized from the Bible, how is it that he took only the correct things and left the wrong things? So you think about it. Quran is from God. And there's a very good talk in the foyer, you can probably take it, is the Quran God's word? You can hear that by Dr. Zakir Naik. You will know for sure that Quran is from God. There's no doubt about that. There's no other. In fact, the original book which came to the Jesus Christ was from God. The original book which came to Moses was from God. But those books have been corrupted. Those books have been played with. Those books have been revised, edited, like how our medical textbooks get edited. And this is not what I am telling. Take any Bible, open the preface of any Bible, read it. In fact, if you attend the night lecture, Brother Omar Sharif is going to present that in detail. He's going to open the preface and read for you. So you know firsthand, this is not what Muslims are telling. The Christians themselves tell that we revise the Bible again and again and again.
Any question from sister side?
There's a question on a slip that has come from a medical student here. In Hadith, it's mentioned that the fate of a newborn is decided before he is born. Then how is that the purpose of creation is fulfilled? How is that one has to go to hell or heaven that is decided after the birth of the child, after resurrection?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First and foremost, this is a question on destiny. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told, don't discuss too much on destiny. Because this is an article of faith. There are 6 articles of faith. One of them is destiny. So we are not supposed to discuss a lot about, because this is faith. This is something we believe. But we can give a logical and simple explanation in many, many ways. First and foremost, like for example, if I'm walking on the road, I have 4 deviations, A, B, C and D. I take road number C. Then I get 1, 2, 3, again 3. I take 3. Now we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowledgeable. Just for a moment think, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not knowledgeable, would you respect a God who himself is waiting to see what's going to happen next? Who doesn't know what's going to happen in future? He knows what's going to happen in future. The basic line which all of you need to memorize is this. Simple. It is not because Allah has written you do something. It is because you will do something Allah has written. Follow this. It is because you will do something, Allah knows it, so is written. It is not that Allah has written, so you'll do something. Whatever we do, Allah knows it. Allah knows that where we'll go. Whether we're going to heaven or hell, Allah knows it. But it's not because Allah has written we're going to heaven or hell. And as far as sister's question is concerned, what is the purpose of creation when the baby, before it's born, it's already destined for heaven, hell? Yes, it's destined. But Allah has given a fair test. Allah has given intelligence. Allah has given hikmah. Allah's will is open. And Allah is not unjust. And there are things which we can understand better only after death. One of them is destiny. The more you discuss, the more you tend to, it apparently confuses. But Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is told, don't discuss too much on destiny. But just know one thing. Like for example, without Allah's will, nothing can happen. Whatever happened any point of time in this world is through Allah's will. Like if the main electricity board of Bijapur or Bangalore, whatever, offs, whether you on the switch or not, these lights will not come. Only after they on it, you have a right to put it on or off. So the will has to be from there. Allah's will is there. But what you do here is your own thing. It is because what you will do, Allah knows, Allah has written. Not because Allah has written, you will do. And Allah is, even a teacher in a school, after a period of time, after teaching students for 6 months, she can very well predict. An ordinary human being who has hardly any experience can tell, okay, so and so will get first class, so and so will get a second class, so and so will fail. Chances are that will be true. The teacher might predict that she will fail, she failed. Now that whoever failed cannot tell, oh teacher, you told me I will fail, see I failed. It is because of the experience the teacher is telling. When an ordinary teacher who is hardly going to live for 70 years, 60 years, who's been in teaching profession from 20 years, 30 years, if she can predict who's going to pass, who's going to fail, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with so much knowledge, will He not be able to tell who's going to go to heaven and hell? And there's a verse of the Quran, Allah tells, when people are going to hell, they will tell, Allah, send us back to the earth. We will do good things. Allah knows that if we come back, again we will do. Allah is very generous. If somebody seeks corruption, he's got disease in his heart, Allah is generous, He gives it more to him. If somebody walks towards Allah, Allah will run towards him. If somebody goes handspan towards Allah, Allah is merciful. Whatever you seek, Allah will give. Allah is just. We Muslims believe that Allah is absolutely just. This is our belief. So nobody is going to be treated unjustly. And whatever we get is what we deserve. Inshallah.
May we have the next question from the brother?
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Muhammad Mohsin, Associate Professor Alamin. I disagree between sir. You have told about the Allah. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. What do you mean by that, sir? He is present everywhere, one thing. And it is near the, you say the carotid. When the person dies, he said it is near to your room. And lastly, you have said the good Christian and the good Jews. I think there is no good Jews or good Christian. Whenever our Prophet ﷺ came, we have to obey 100% Muhammad ﷺ. No.
Can you repeat the second question?
When if you follow the Bible, he may be the good Christian. If you follow the Moses, he is a good Jews. But all of them, they will go to hell. Once they have to obey the Prophet ﷺ, only will go to the Jannah.
I don't think I told there's a good Christian and good Jew. I don't think I told that. Did I tell they'll go to heaven?
Practice, if you practice the Bible, you may be the good Christian, right?
Nobody. How can you be anything good without being a Muslim?
Yeah.
You have to be a Muslim to be good. The thing is very simple. Basically, after Muhammad ﷺ has come, you have to be a Muslim to go to heaven.
Yeah.
You have to, La ilaha illallah is not enough. Muhammadur Rasulullah also is important. You have to believe in Muhammadur Rasulullah to be going to heaven. That's the minimum criteria, without which you are not going to heaven.
Yeah.
Whether you are a good Christian, and I don't know in what context you are
No,
talking.
if the Christian practice what is there in the Bible, he will not go to Jannah.
He'll not go to Jannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll not go to Jannah. Because where's the Bible? Do you have a Bible in the world in the first place? There is no existing Bible. What is available? If you read the history of what is available, it is not the Bible. It is a collection of books. There was physical fights. There were physical fights. Excuse me. If you read how the Bible is collected, you will be surprised that it was muscle power which determined what the Bible is today. There were times when one of the pastors used to have more people and fight out, and then there's so many books, Book of Judas, Book of Barnabas, Book of this, Book of that, which are not there in the present Bible. In fact, they don't agree what the Bible is. The Roman Catholic version has got 73 books, I think, and the Protestants have 66 books. Coming to your first part of the question, which is more relevant, inshallah, you're telling that God is closer to your jugular vein. Yes, that is the verse of the Quran. But how do we understand the Quran? How you think or how I think? No. We don't understand the Quran how you think or how I think or how some Maulana thinks. It is not only important that we read and understand the Quran and Hadith, it is also equally important that we understand the Quran and Hadith as understood by the first three generations of Islam, that is Sahaba, Tabi'in and Tabi' Tabi'in. And unanimously there is ijma. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told in an authentic hadith, my ummah cannot be united on a falsehood. My ummah cannot be united on falsehood. And the ummah has an ijma that Tafsir ibn Kathir is the best tafsir of the Quran. Tafsir al-Qurtubi is a second best or third best, whatever. Tafsir ibn Kathir, Qurtubi and At-Tabari. These are the best tafsirs available. I don't know, sir, if you have read them, but if you read them, the understanding of this particular verse, that Allah is closer to you than the jugular vein, is not by His Himself. It is by His knowledge. Allah tells, by His knowledge is closer to your jugular vein, not by His self, not by His Zat. I hope and Alhamdulillah, it is very good news, and I would like to tell all the people here that Tafsir ibn Kathir, the number one tafsir from the day of Muhammad, from the time Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam till today, number one tafsir is available in English now. Darussalam, may Allah bless those people. They have translated and it's available in English. I hope you and everybody else buys it and reads it. And that tells very clearly that Allah is present closer to you by His knowledge. I very clearly told in my lecture that even forget to you, even if an ant in some big garden, millions of ants, Allah knows the ant is walking. Allah can hear the ant walking. Allah can see the ant walking. You and me can't. If you give 1 million mobile phones to Allah, Allah can hear all of them together. Allah knows who's the ants, chicha, pupa, taya, I think I told that. Allah knows how many hair you have. Allah knows how many leaves are there in Amazon forest. Allah knows on which leaf how many insects are there. Allah can listen to everything. Allah can see everything, but by Himself He is not everywhere. Because that is very insulting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is not in feces. Allah is not in urine. Nauzubillah. It's very, very bad to even think of such a thing. Allah is not in all the dirty things in the world. Allah is not in, ganja. Allah is not in alcohol. Allah is not in all these things. So it's very important for you and for me to understand the Quran as understood by the Sahaba, as understood by the Tabi'in, as understood by Tabi' Tabi'in, not as understood by today, you and me. We cannot interpret the Quran. We can only understand as understood by the first three generations. And this is the belief, this is the Aqidah of our Salaf. And how the Salaf understood is the only way we should understand the Quran. It is not only important we understand the Quran and Hadith, it is also important to take the understanding of the Quran and Hadith as understood by them, inshallah.
But God doesn't have got any body, anything. We can't imagine.
See, this is a very huge topic. I think I would be doing very, partial service if I try to get into this topic. Of course, Allah has a face. Allah does have a face. Allah tells, for example, those people in the Quran, not in Hadith, in the Quran,